Hello and welcome to Vegan Cafe 21. Today we are making vegan baklava. To make our baklava, I'm using store-bought Phyllo Dough. So in this package here, there are about 20 sheets of Phyllo Dough that I have thawed following the directions on the package. Also, I have here a clean kitchen towel that we are going to dampen a bit and use it to cover our Phyllo sheets as we are working with them to prevent them from drying. So making baklava is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, you prepare the syrup. 2, put together the nut filling. 3, layer the Phyllo dough and the nut mixture using our oils. Lastly, we just bake it, pull it out, drizzle the syrup, and enjoy. So let's start with the first step. Like I said, step 1 is preparing the syrup. For syrup, we are going to use 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of maple syrup, half a cup of water, 1/4 teaspoon of crushed green cardamom seeds. These impart great aroma and fragrance to our baklava. Here I have 1.5 tablespoons of rose water. Again, imparts wonderful aroma to the finished product. This is 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, which we are going to add once our syrup is done. This helps prevent the sugar from crystallizing. So let's get started with the syrup. I am turning the heat on under this pot. To this pot, we are going to add our sugar, maple syrup, and water. Now we are going to let it all come to a boil, and then we'll add our fragrance. Give everything a good stir. While our sugar syrup is bubbling away, let me walk you through the ingredients for our nut filling. In this bowl here, I have total of 4 cups of nuts. I'm using 3 cups of walnuts, half a cup of pistachios, and half a cup of sliced almonds. To all of this, we are also going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. So all of these nuts are going to go into our food processor, and we are going to process them into coarse nut mixture. To our nut mixture, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Put the lid on and pulse it away. So this is the consistency we are looking for. We're not going in a powder form, just a coarse nut meal. So there we go. Step 2, preparing our nut mixture for the filling is done. Here we have what we need for layering. In this bowl, I have melted coconut oil, half a cup of it. To this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of canola oil. You can choose to use vegetable oil as long as there is no flavor or smell in your oil. You feel free to use it. And now we'll check back with our syrup. It looks done. It has thickened up nicely. You know it's done when it coats the back of your spoon like this. So I'm going to turn the heat low, and to it I'm going to add our cardamom seed powder and give it a mix. We don't want to go too far with our syrup, so at this point I'm going to turn the heat off. Now we're going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So our syrup is done, and I'm going to reserve our rose water to put in the syrup once it cools down a little bit and we are ready to drizzle it over our baklava. So now I'm just going to put a lid on this pot, let it sit here and wait while we prepare our baklava. So I have opened the package of our Phyllo sheets, and I'm going to place them onto the side, covered with a damp kitchen towel. I'm using this tray to make our baklava in. This tray is a little bit larger than the size of our phyllo dough sheets. I'm doing this intentionally for the ease of cutting and lifting of our pieces. You can choose any size tray you want. If you have a 9x13 pan, you can use that. Just trim your phyllo sheets to fit your pan and follow the same procedure. So let's get started with first greasing the bottom of our tray generously. Now here's how this goes. The base layer of our baklava is going to consist of total of 10 sheets. So first I'm going to pick 2 sheets of phyllo dough, 1 and 2. I'm going to place them on the bottom like this, and then apply our oil mixture onto these sheets. Next set of 2 sheets. So we will continue to follow this process of layering phyllo, oil, another 2 sheets of phyllo, more oil, and then 2 more sheets till we reach a total of 10 sheets for our base layer. Now we are done layering for our base layer. Time to layer our nut mixture over the phyllo sheets. I'm going to use half of this mixture for the base layer and use the remaining half for our second layer. And now we take 2 sheets and set over our filling. Same deal, apply the oil. And now our second layer of filling goes on top of these 4 sheets. Now we are ready to place the last few layers. So I have taken 2 more sheets of phyllo dough, covered our filling with it. I'm going to apply the oil layer, 2 more layers, and we are done. So now all we need to do is cut the pieces before we transport this tray to the oven. Our oven has been preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and it is ready and waiting for us. So using a sharp knife, just cut your baklava into nice long strips and then we will cut it into squares. All done. Now we are ready to transport it to our oven. Top shelf, and we're going to let it cook for 35 minutes. While our baklava is almost ready to be done in our oven, let's prepare our syrup. It has cooled down considerably. Now I'm going to add our rose water to the syrup and give it a stir. All right, so our baklava is done. Looks beautiful. As soon as we bring it out of the oven, we start drizzling our syrup over it. Now we can garnish each piece with some chopped pistachios. This is optional. If you don't want to go through this extra step, you can totally omit it. It took us 35 minutes to get this golden brown color. Temperatures can vary from oven to oven, so it may take 5 minutes more or less depending on how your oven heats up. Let me show you one of these pieces. Look at the texture, the color, and I can assure you it tastes divine. To prevent your baklava from getting soggy, store it uncovered in your refrigerator and consume it within 7 days. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I'll see you again soon with a vegan version of another traditional favorite.